No one streams like Gaston, eats Dole Whip like Gaston. That's the only lines that I can really think of out of my head. But hello, welcome everybody to Disney Movie Review episode dos. And today we are reviewing the wonderful, if you didn't get the reference earlier, Beauty and the Beast. Just this one, the animated, the live action, and any of the spin-offs and some of the park stuff and whatever. And I got two wonderful people, two of my closest Disney fellow friends with me. Walt from Mousetalk and Dana with a Gaston. Wait, hold on.
He's got a Gaston waiting. There he is. Yeah,
there you go.
There's the big guy.
Look at that. Look at those muscles. Like,
he looks like you, Dan.
I won't go that far with my beard and Hi everybody.
Hello everybody.
Welcome. Hello. Welcome into the stream. We are going to be talking everything Beauty and the Beast tonight. Let's just quickly see who's in the chat. We got Joey from Joey's World. Hey Joey, what's going on, pal? Good to see you. We got Samantha here. Good to see you, Samantha. Caitlin, big Disney fan. Detroit Disney Duo. Welcome into the stream. Good to see you guys. Johns. Brandy from Brandy and Dave. Good to see you guys. Hope you are doing well. Alex Brunner. Good to see you too. Surfer Girl. Good to see you. But yeah, welcome in everybody. Firstly, I just want to make a little bit of an apology. Yesterday, unfortunately, I was unable. There we go. To do Disney Fiasco yesterday. I was really kind of upset by that. I came down with a bit of unfortunate food poisoning because I like my food and maybe I don't know what happened, but I'm fine now. Like, I'm good. I mean, it was going to be a fun show.
You're better.
Yeah, I'm all good. It was fine. It was just one of those things that just had to pass very quick. But yeah, all fine now, and we were able to do this wonderful stream, and we're going to talk everything Beauty and the Beast today. Magic of the Mouse TV, good to see you. And Michelle the Quilter, welcome into the stream as well. Walt, I'm excited because we have one of the most cherished special guests in this Disney community, the true belle of the Disney community. We got Dana here. It's so good to have you here.
We're so happy to have you. Dougie last week, Dana this week.
I know.
Awesome.
Good to see you, Don. I hope you're doing well, my friends.
Yeah, thank you so much.
And as soon as we pulled that one out of the box last week, you were right on there. You were like, Beauty and the Beast is my favorite. I was just like, yep, no other person I could think of. Beauty and the Beast. So we are honored to have you here.
Absolutely.
Thank you. It's an honor to be here.
Geeking Out with Melly Mel, welcome into the stream. Good to see you here. Welcome in, Mel. So yeah, it's going to be really, really fun stream. So we're going to be talking about the animation. We're going to be talking about the live action. And we're going to maybe talk about the stuff in the parks and some of the spin-off films as well. The Avengers of Gonzo, welcome into the stream. Good to see you, Pow. And Ma in Memphis, good to see you too. And a very quick thank you to all my members who've signed up to the DIZNEYDAN membership. You guys are absolutely amazing. And there's more stuff to come for you guys this week. So, 1991, let me get the banner up. 1991 was when Beauty and the Beast was released. And you know what's really funny? I don't know if Carlos has actually seen this movie yet. Carlos, have you seen it?
One.
I hope so.
No, on an actual fun fact, I don't know where I heard this. Must have been a couple months ago, but they opened the Beauty and the Beast stage show at what was Disney's MGM Studios the same day as the movie.
Yes.
And the same day they released the stage show at the same time as the movie. And I'm like, that's how did they know it was going to be a smash hit? How did they know? So let's just talk about first impressions of Beauty and the Beast. We'll start off with Dana. Why is Beauty and the Beast such a special movie for you?
Okay, so for me, just seeing Belle with, first of all, being a brunette, that was, I think she's the first brunette princess that I can remember before. There was Ariel, she had red hair.
Yeah.
I don't think there was another princess. Well, there was Snow White.
But
So-
I feel she was more sort of black haired.
Yeah.
Wow.
Whereas, and then, hey, R. Johns.
Oh, he's wearing his
Oh, Richard.
Hey, pal.
I love it, man. That's a great ad.
There we go. Beauty and the Beast right there.
Beauty and the
Live.
Beast right there.
Good to see you. There we go. A bit of a cameo from R.
It's
Johns.
the legend.
Beast. The legend of the Beast, R. Johns.
Yeah, so I love that she had brown hair like I did, and I loved that she was independent and she loved to read, which I have always been studious and loved to read.
Mm.
And that really endeared me to her, that she was, very academic and book smart, and didn't really care what others thought. So yeah, that's why I loved her so much.
So it was really Belle that drew you to this movie. Just her character
Mhm.
alone just
Oh,
made
yeah.
you fall in love with the movie.
But I was hooked on that first song where she's, going through the town center with her books, and I was like, I like her.
She's definitely I put up there with one of the smartest
Mhm.
Disney princesses there are.
Yeah.
Walt, what was your first impression of the film? What drew you to? Well, I don't know if you love it, like it. I don't know, but what do you like about the film?
It's one of my favorites, and I'll tell you why. First off, it was the second film in the 4-film renaissance that really kind of put Disney animated feature films back on the map. Because they started it off with Little Mermaid, they followed it with this film, and then Aladdin in '92, I think, and then Lion King in '94. It was the 4 films there that really put their animated feature films back on the map after a very long, continuous time of mediocre to bad
Yeah.
Yeah.
that didn't do well for them. These 4 were the ones that really kickstarted it again. And as great as Little Mermaid was, they built upon that with this movie. I love Belle in this. She's one of my favorite princesses. I agree with you, Donna. She's very independent. I also think, in my opinion, it may be because she's a brunette, she's one of the prettiest.
Mm.
Real pretty, real pretty, that looks realistic pretty, in my opinion. And but what really put the movie over the edge for me is the music in this movie, which I'm sure we'll get into. And it gets you from the minute the movie starts. The first song, Belle, Bonjour, Bonjour, that is one of my favorite songs. And people always forget it. It's actually a really great song.
It is.
This movie was awesome.
Carlos says Howard Ashman best work in this film, as good as A Little Mermaid and Aladdin was. The music here was better. I mean,
I agree.
yeah, absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. I mean, I'm like you guys. Belle is my personal favorite princess out of all of them.
She's number 2 for me. Number 2 tied with Snow White. Jasmine's number 1 for me.
So up there though. Like I feel like she's so up there, not just because she's a very good looking princess, but she's so intelligent.
Yeah.
Hey Corey, good to see you, pal. Good to see you. I hope you're doing well. By the way, Corey, if I pick Pinocchio out of here, I know who I'm calling, so you better be ready. Good to see you, Corey. Hope you're doing well, my friend. And Corey did a really great dining review this week at Raglan Road. Go check it out. It was so fun. It makes me, hungry. Kate Atwood, welcome in. Good to see you too. Welcome in. Belle just is such an intelligent person. Like you, Donna, reading is something that I really love doing, especially sorts of storytelling. I have a background in mythology and all the kind of stuff where you hear about mythical beasts and that kind of thing. I was so interested by it. So, Gonzo. Oh, dude, thank you so much. The Adventures of Gonzo with the $9.99 super chat. Thanks for all you do. Love you guys. Gonzo, thank you so much, pal. You truly means the world to me. You are the best. Thank you, man. Go check out Gonzo's channel. We do Disney Nuts will be returning to season 2 next week. It'll be looking forward to it. So yeah, go check him out. But yeah, she's such a wonderful princess, and I think what really captivates me about this film in particular is that every character in this film seems really important. Like there's no sort of side character. Even the sidekicks have some sort of important role. Doesn't matter who it is, and I feel like everyone, especially in the animation, has their own time to shine. So let's just kick things off. Let's just talk about the story as a whole. I mean, it's one of the most. It's a tale as old as time, isn't it? It's a story that I think, especially me growing up in the 90s, like I remember watching this on VHS. I remember watching it all the time and listening to Be Our Guest and watching the fight right at the end with, you know, someone being beaten up by a broomstick and the wardrobe. Like it's just it's so like humorous. But even at the time, I didn't understand a lot of the you know what was going on as a child. But I think it's also a very mature film. And as I've got older, I've understood the story so much better about it's not what's on the outside, it's what's on the inside that counts.
Mm-hmm.
And I think as you get older, you kind of, you know, I think kids are like, oh, it's a princess movie. But as an adult, it's like, wow, there's so much depth to that. So, yeah. So what about the story as a whole? What do you think of the story, The Tale as Old as Time? Donna?
Well, I mean, it's so classic, and yet it's so poignant. Like, and it is timeless. I mean, you could do that story now, and it would be so important and so, you know, heartfelt and hit home, especially during these times. You know, we need, I think, especially now, not to be so judgmental of one another, and it reinforces that you know, you need to look deeper into a person, not just on the shell of what you see. So, you know, the story, and I love the relationships, like with all the characters that are stuck in the castle and how they're like one big family.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they stick up for each other and they've got each other's backs, but they also can poke fun at each other. So it's I love that.
Mm.
We have, you know, Gaston, who's like this big oaf of a thing, and but he's so goofy. I mean, it's like he's so bad, but he's hilarious. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
I've never seen a villain that I found so much humor in as I do with Gaston.
Why do you think Gaston has the longest lines for meet and greets?
I know. It's
Why
true.
do you think? Because everyone fancies him.
Yeah,
He's a
Well,
bag.
for me, he's the most human. Like,
Yeah.
villain, because I don't know if he was really like a villain as much as he was an egotist. And
But here's the thing I see. As much as I like the Gaston meet and greet, what really sets him apart as a meet and greet, and I don't want to get off topic here with meet and greets, but he's the only villain meet and greet other than the stepsisters that talks to you.
Yeah.
Because the stepsisters are really popular too. Imagine if Hades was one of those that talked to you. He would be very popular. So for as popular as Gaston is, if he was just a face villain that didn't talk, he'd be like every other meet and greet.
yeah, it's
Him
the
interacting with you is what makes him special.
Yeah.
Same thing with the stepsisters, in my opinion. And it's not taking anything away from him. It's just, you know, imagine if we got to really interact with Jafar or Hades or Shan Yu where they talked back to you. We don't get that with the other ones. That's kind of, I think, what helps to drive his popularity.
Yeah. Or Darth Vader. No, I'm kidding. That's Hollywood Studios.
Yeah, well, he wouldn't even have to talk, and I'd still wouldn't be Darth Vader.
Avery, welcome into the stream. Great to see you. Good to see you. John P. Hazelton, welcome in as well. I saw a fun fact. There we go. Martha says, fun fact, I sewed a bell dress for my daughter as a Halloween costume. She wore it to JCPenney and won for best costume. We bought the VHS tape with the gift certificate. She won.
Nice.
That's pretty cool. I love that. That's great.
I love that.
That's so cool. But you're totally right. Oh, here we go. Veronica, welcome into the street. He is hilarious. My favorite spot for fireworks is also laying back on his fountain. I thought that fountain was a statue of me. Maybe I was wrong. But yeah, no, I mean, we'll get into sort of Beauty and the Beast in the parks as well. But characters. I think, Donna, you already said Belle was your favorite character from the movie. for me, I'm just a massive fan of side characters in this film because it's where they really sort of shine. I love Lumiere and Cogsworth, and their their sort of relationship, friendship between each other. And then I love LeFou. I think LeFou is wonderful in the film.
Yeah.
He's kind of like Gaston's conscience, but in a sort of a bad way. Like he kind of knows what's right, but also what's not right. Like he's like trying to big him up. He's trying to like, no one's the best like Gaston. He even starts singing a song about him. And I think it's great. I think the side characters, for me personally, are my favorite. What make the film a little bit more lighthearted. I feel like they kind of bring something to Belle, Beast, Gaston, and their sort of triangle. Those are my favorite characters personally.
Well, they're the matchmaker in the film. They're really the ones that help be the matchmaker for him. They're the ones that help her to have the patience with him, and they're the ones that also try to get him to calm down a little bit and try to see her way a little bit. They really do play matchmaker in this film a lot. But they're also cursed. So they have a big stake in him falling in love with someone, because if he doesn't, they're like that for the rest of their lives too. So they have a stake in him.
They were so eager to like, oh, there's a girl in the castle. Oh, we've got to get her to like meet, and you got to make, you got to be proper.
There's our chance.
They dress them up like they are very sort of pushy. They're very pushy and want him to, be human.
Right.
So I don't know. It's very sort of, they are, as a whole, a character of themselves. They're kind of just like the wingman.
Yeah, it's one of the best movies with an ensemble of side characters that's really, really good.
Big Noah, welcome into the stream. Good to see you. Carlos says, Dan, you do have his ears. Whose ears? Gaston's ears? Or Beast's ears?
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know, Carlos. You're losing me, my friend. The side characters are my favorite. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, they bring a lot to the film for this one.
They really, really do. And even Belle's father, and
Maurice.
Yeah, Maurice. Like he. I don't know. There's something about him that is kind of intriguing.
Relationship with Belle, that she would sacrifice herself to let her father go free.
Mm-hmm.
That said so much. It was just so beautiful, their relationship together.
I think it's one of the few father-daughter relationships out there, actually. Isn't it?
It's a good one. I think part of it with her, too, is the relationship she has with her father is the fact that back then, during that time, he didn't make her conform to what we thought women were supposed to be like back then. The keep your mouth shut, do what I tell you. She had her own life. She was very independent. She was able to read, and he encouraged that. He loved that about her, which made her just that much more of an independent and powerful character. It's what I love about it, because she is one of the smartest princesses, in my opinion. She's extremely smart.
I totally agree. Christine Hitman, welcome into the stream. Look at that cute baby Yoda. So cute. She is definitely one of the smartest Disney princesses. What's funny is, it's funny how she's so smart, and then the villain really isn't. Because he won't say no for an answer. Like he's just like he's not getting rejected. He's getting rejected, but he's taking it completely the wrong way. Like completely.
He's the bully. He's the big bully who it's the old saying, brains over brawn. He has the brawn.
Definitely.
Yeah. But he's really got the brawn.
But like we were saying, he's such a fun villain. Like, I actually enjoy sort of watching him on screen. Like, I don't feel like he's not planning to take over the world. He's not planning to rule the seven seas like Ursula. He's not trying to rule Pride Rock. All he wants is to marry Belle, and that's it. Mm-hmm. And he gets shot down.
I don't know he didn't marry himself. He sure loved himself so much.
He looked in the mirror, didn't he?
He's the epitome of a narcissist, for sure. Absolutely. But the problem is, Dan, he was such a villain that everything had to be what he had to have everything. What he wanted, he got, and he would do anything he had to do to get it, including kill. I mean, he was willing to kill the Beast. if
But
it meant getting
yeah,
hurt, you know.
but I find like all these characters are so human, which is kind of funny because a lot of them aren't human. And like I know a bajillion Bells and I know a bajillion Gastons, like they're all like so relatable. And I find it so clever how like you know, you watch a film where they want to be human again, when in fact they're more human than most humans can actually be. Like, if that makes sense. I find it so interesting, and that's what they want to be, but you can relate to those characters.
They're definitely relatable. The most, I think, than any other film.
And I think that's what made this era of Disney films so clever and so amazing, because the writing and the storytelling is so good. Like it's incredible. Because
and they really hit it out of the park with the music. The music in all four of these films that we've talked about, we all know all the songs to these four films, like almost verbatim. All four of them. And just talking about, I mean, we could sit here and sing every single one of the Beauty and the Beast songs, and go with them, and we'd know them. You know, it's just amazing. This film.
I mean, talk about highlight reel. Like, you know when Disney puts out promotional videos of, you know, oh, come watch Disney Plus for $9.99, whatever. At least one or even two Disney songs or images or parts of those songs are in those promotions because they are so iconic and so catchy. Same with Lion King. Like, let's take the first one.
One of the four. Yeah.
Let's go through all the quick songs very quickly. Belle, the first song, the kickoff, it's the Circle of Life song. You know, Little Town, A Quiet Village sets the scene. It shows what we are going to see, who's involved. We've got Belle walking through the streets, a smart woman. We got Gaston, you know, being drooled over by those girls. We have LeFou being the blubbering, you know, fool that he is. And then you got Maurice, who we find out, you know, is a bit of an eccentric. And even just that alone, you kind of get an idea of what this film is about in the first 2 minutes of the movie.
I'll tell you what this film's music separates it from all the others. And this is going to sound funny, but everybody work with me here. It reminds me of an opera. I'm sorry, it just does. When I hear Gaston sing, and he says, I want her to be my wife. And just the way it sounds opera almost in the way the music, especially that first song. That's what I'm hearing in there. And I don't know, I really love the music in this.
For me, it sounded more of, not so much opera, but for me, it was more like something I would see on Broadway. Like,
yes,
exactly my point.
That's the better correlation. Broadway, yes.
Now, if you look at Broadway, all the Disney movies that have gone onto Broadway are all the movies that have incredible Lion King, Beauty and the Beast, Mary Poppins, The Little Mermaid, Frozen. All of these films, these 5 films, have such amazing music that is good enough. Aladdin, yeah. All have gone on Broadway because of their music. And, you know, this film came out, nearly 30 years next year. Wow, that's crazy. Yeah. And the songs, like, you can recall all the music, like Be Our Guest, like such a simple song, but you can, you know, smell the grey stuff. It's delicious. RobFuz, welcome into stream. Good to see you.
Yeah, that's the better correlation.
Donna would be on.
A Broadway musical than anything else, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. It was definitely more like it is a Broadway. It is a musical. That's what it is.
Yeah, but they're phenomenal music. I mean, Home on the Range is a musical, but
don't worry, we'll get to it at some point.
We will.
But it's definitely and I just want to bring up the iconic song of the film, and that's Beauty and the Beast, the song, you know, named after the film. Even if you take the music out of it and just look at the cinematography alone, the beauty, how they shot that song in the ballroom, that is Disney iconic right there. If you want to think Disney, like that shot right there when the camera spins and they're dancing in the ballroom, and then they like look at this, like the ceiling with, you know, the heavenly babies and all stuff on the ceiling, and like that is like stunning. And then the music to go with it, with Angela Lansbury singing.
Yeah.
Come on, like talk about emotional ride right there. Beautiful. Yeah. Well, I mean, you can't really beat that, can you?
No, it's fantastic. I love it.
See, Avery's just singing. That's just his shtick. That's all he does. And then the final sort of the third act, where it gets sort of a lot. I feel the third act is so much darker compared to the rest of the film.
Yeah.
Well, it gets us to the culmination that we knew ultimately was coming. We knew that the clash between Gaston and Beast was going to happen at some point. It's almost like a love triangle. It really is in a lot of ways.
It so is.
And then we have that culmination, that final battle here, and it was coming either way.
Mars said, wasn't that the first time that type of photography was used in a film? I believe so. I'd have to double check on that, but when they did that,
kind of use a little bit like that in Aladdin when they do a whole new world, when they're on the magic carpet ride, you see them swerving, and they kind of show them around as well. So, and that was after, so it might have been.
And that was but that I feel that third act just it gets to everything is just so much darker, and then I love the fact that it brightens at the end, right at the end, where everything sort of transforms back. But that sort of confrontation with Gaston and the Beast on the roof of the castle, and he's like sitting there with all the gargoyles, and he takes one of the gargoyles' heads off, and you're just like, oh, he's gone, like, oh, he's gonna pounce on him, when he's least expecting it. And he gets him, because the Beast goes from a real tough guy when he's around Maurice to being more human and a softie, and then as soon as Gaston says, how she's never good. Do you honestly think she's gonna love you? Look at you, you're a beast. He switches back to that, that beast-like nature. But he was gonna spare his life, wasn't he?
He was, because he's not really a beast inside.
No.
Yeah. Maybe Gaston was really the beast.
Possibly. I think that's what Belle said.
Well, I think that's the role change that we see is who becomes more human in the end, and who becomes more like the Beast in the end. They kind of switch roles.
It's the evolution.
Yeah, absolutely.
Reference from another film, Hunchback of Notre Dame, who is the monster and who is the man. It's the exact same thing. We'll get to that film too. The villagers coming after the Beast reminded me of an old Frankenstein movie.
Absolutely, and I feel like they took from that.
Not Young Frankenstein with.
I love Young Frankenstein. That's such a great film, by the way. But I do agree. I agree. That's what it reminded me of too.
Agreed.
Yes, I think they took from that. I really do.
I think they did.
Yeah.
Yes, they said the cricket ballroom scene was new technology for a cartoon. Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. Did you know that Belle was the first brunette Disney princess? We discussed that right at the start. It's kind of crazy how she was the first Disney brunette, which is really, really awesome. And I think, she definitely looks, thinking about it now, looks so much more real than if you look at someone like Cinderella or Aurora. Like she looks more human.
They look less animated.
Yeah.
I agree.
Emily from LSU, Mom, so good to see you. Welcome into the stream.
I think Ariel was the first redhead. I think that's when they started to realize they could go away from the prototypical black hair or blonde hair, and it would still work. And they went that route.
So before we move on to the live action, favorite scene or favorite moment from the movie? Who wants to go first?
Ladies first.
Well, for me, there's two that are my absolute favorite. I love the opening number where they sing Belle and they introduce us to Belle, and she's going through the town and not paying attention to anything, and she has her books and she's buried in her books, and that is one of my favorites. The other one is, it has to be, Be Our Guest.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that is just like such a fun and happy song, and just seeing all the food come out and everything coming to life, and it's beautiful. And actually, I have a third, which would be the Tailors All the Time, where they're dancing in the ballroom, because that's just so beautiful.
Oh, Stacey's here saying, I love seeing Dana on the shows. It's Stacey. Hi,
Hi.
Dan and well, good to see you, Stacey. Welcome in. Believe it or not, I haven't seen the live action. I don't want to ruin my image of the original. We will definitely talk about that. We will definitely. Yeah, great scenes. I mean, there's so many amazing scenes.
Yeah, there's so many.
You know what? I'm going to say it right now. There's no bad scene in the movie.
Yeah, I agree.
Walt, what about you?
The exact same too, Donna. You stole my thunder. It's true. I really still feel like the Belle song in the beginning is a highly underrated and forgotten about song. It's really, really good. The entire scene, the sequence where she almost gets hit by this, goes by that. Everybody's doing their whole thing in the town, and she's kind of, they talk about her. She's that, whatever they call her, that she's the weird girl in town, I guess, because she reads. But everybody else, Marie, the baguettes, hurry up. It's just fantastic. That whole scene. And then Be Our Guest, which, by the way, is one of the probably top 10 best songs in Disney animated history, in my opinion. It's in the top 10 for me.
I agree.
With Devitt. Good to see you. This is a great show. Oh, yeah, Dan is here. Am I? Who?
I agree, Don. I agree with Donna. Those were my two. Probably those were the sequences that were the best for me.
I agree with those as well. I'm totally in agreement. When they dance, yes, and when he changes into a prince and she looks into his eyes and he kisses, that's a great scene. I would also like to bring up, when you said underrated songs, I want to bring up something there as well, where in the snow. And I love the fact how they sort of singing, but they're singing, their thoughts inside.
Yeah.
She glanced this way. I thought I saw. She's actually
something there that wasn't there before. Sure.
Right. They're telling the audience what they're thinking inside their head.
That there's. It's starting to develop. I agree. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. I love that scene too. So let's talk about 2017. Beauty and the Beast live action film. This, for me, this was the first big Disney classic that I feel Disney decided to remake. They obviously had Jungle Book released before, Maleficent, Cinderella. I still even think Cinderella is a biggie, but this was a mess. Like Beauty and the Beast is a cult classic. It's one of the best Disney movies. I bet most people would put Beauty and the Beast at least in the top 10, even in top 5 greatest Disney movies of all time. David Stevens, welcome into the stream. Good to see you. Pamela Hoffman, great to see you too. Welcome in.
Good to see everybody.
And this was the first one, 2017. And actually, funnily enough, I watched it for the first time this week. I hadn't actually seen it before because, like what Mar said earlier, I didn't want my experience to ruin the live action, to ruin the old one. And my philosophy is, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And at least change it in different ways, which I actually prefer something like Jungle Book or Dumbo, where they do something a little bit different. Before they get to my impressions, I want to come to Dana first. What did you think of the 2017 live action version?
Okay, so like you and Mar, I was apprehensive about watching it, and I actually did not watch it until last year with our Johns. And I have to say I was very skeptical about it, but I liked it. I still like the animated version, the original. I wouldn't mess with it, but it still could stand on its own, the live action, I felt. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, I feel lots of people. This was a very divisive film for a lot of people. I think this was maybe the catalyst of, whether people loved or hate the live action films as a whole. This Beauty and the Beast was kind of the first one to do that. And a lot of people, I feel, either really liked it or they didn't. And actually, I know a lot of people who do really enjoy this film, and I'll tell you my opinion after we speak to Walt. But I'm actually glad that people sort of accept this film because I know the people, I feel like this film is visually stunning, the live action.
Yes, that's how I felt also.
Yeah. And there are changes, which we'll talk about.
Yes.
Which we will definitely talk about. Walt, what about you? Now, I know you, Walt. But if people don't know, let's just, why don't you fill some people in about your experience with live action films?
I'm not a fan of live action films at all. For me, they're a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
If you do the exact same carbon copy of what was already done, it's like, well, why do it at all? Yep. But if you change it, then I'm going to be like, well, I don't like that you changed it. So to me, you can't make me happy either way. Right. So that's why for me, I think I don't believe in I don't need to be told the same story again, but I don't want the same story told differently either. So just leave well enough alone, in my opinion. Yeah. If this is a standalone without a remake, it's probably very good. But as a remake, I wasn't a fan of it. I think casting Emma Watson as Belle was too soon after Harry Potter for me. All I saw was Hermione.
I agree. Totally agree.
It's not that she didn't do a bad job. She was good, but it wasn't the right casting for me. I just saw Hermione. That's who I saw.
That was hard for me to wrap my head around too. And for me, I went, like you said, looking at it as not a comparison. I tried to go in more like looking at it as a separate entity as opposed to looking at it compared to the animated one.
Yeah. Right.
So for me, I looked at it totally different.
Right. And I think for me too, the voices being different. See, I liked Jerry Orbach as Lumiere and the other guy that played Cogsworth. When I get different people in these, when I hear different voices under these roles, I'm like, that's not Lumiere.
Yeah,
that's not Cogsworth.
It was different. But then, if you look at it, where you like went and saw the Broadway show, that's different also.
Right.
So you have to kind of take it with a kind of a grain of salt. But for me, it was really hard to get over the Emma Watson thing because I'm such a big Harry Potter fan, also. So just looking at that, I was like, oh, I don't know. And I kept seeing Hermione. I'm like, take your one out.
It was tough at first.
And somebody else said it in the chat. See, one of the other castings that I thought was terrible. He did a great job, but I just can't see him as Gaston, was Luke Evans.
Yeah.
Luke Evans Luke Evans, I love Luke Evans. He's one of my favorite actors. I like him better as a good guy. He plays a really good guy. And he's not that's Gaston.
You need someone. I felt like he was too small.
Yes, he wasn't he was I was expecting to see this big hulky, like Chris Hemsworth almost would be a good Gaston.
Okay, go toe to toe with the Beast, like as big, because that's what happened in the animation, and I don't think we got that.
Yeah, and I think you're right. I think it's part of what hurt Aladdin was with Jafar. The guy didn't.
Yeah.
He didn't come across as that's not Jafar, and
Yeah, Simba said, I like the live action too, except they used Brits for the main characters. Thank you. Orlando Mike, welcome into the stream. Great to see you. Michelle Quilter said, I like the live action movie. I saw it on the big screen twice. I have to tell myself not to compare other versions to the originals. I like the actors and like the newer songs. So my opinion on this movie, after watching it for the first time this week, is it a bad movie?
Yeah.
No.
No,
not at all in any way. Is it really well directed? Yes. Is the acting good? For the most part, yeah, it's good. Are there parts in the movie that annoy me? I think Chip really annoys me just because I'm British and that accent, like, he's trying too hard. Like, it's just not good.
Yeah.
But overall, did I enjoy the movie? Yes.
Yes.
Is it as good as the original? Nowhere close. Nowhere close.
Yeah.
Like I've said, I think, Walt, to you many times, if I had both the movies up on my Blu-ray shelf, I would pick the original every single time. And that's how I judge these movies.
Mm-hmm.
Is it a bad movie? No, but I mean, if I was going on Disney Plus tonight and I want to watch Beauty and the Beast, I'm going to watch the live action.
Yeah.
No, I'm going to watch the animation, not the live action.
Right. No, I got you. Well, Caitlin said she loves both versions. She thinks Emma Watson did well. Yeah. Emma Watson did well.
Yeah.
She was good. I just don't think it was the right role for her. I just saw Hermione. I didn't see Belle. But that's me. I mean, it was too soon after Harry Potter for me.
I feel like there was certainly better actors that could have filled the role at the time.
She came from one iconic character, tried to go into another iconic character. They should have chosen someone who had somebody new.
Yeah. Unknown. I agree, because when you put someone of that stature in this role, you just cannot separate them from where they've been. Mm-hmm. And you need someone that is new at this so they can establish themselves there. Because I think it's so hard already knowing where, like you said, all you could see where was Hermione, and that was the same for me. So it's hard to separate them from where they've been before.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think what was the main decision was, I feel like they should have chosen an actress who was a very good actress, but not in such an iconic role. Because Hermione obviously is an iconic role. You needed somebody who was well established, but also, that is young enough and pretty enough. I mean, the first person who came straight to mind was Natalie Dormer, who played Marjorie from Game of Thrones. She's young.
Absolutely.
Very good actress.
And she's not tied into a major role where you say, oh, she's such and such. Even Game of Thrones, she wasn't a main character. She was a side character.
She was a side character. And even if you've never seen something like Game of Thrones, like, you can associate her with the live action Beauty and the Beast without thinking she was in something like Game of Thrones. Whereas if you watch Emma Watson on Beauty and the Beast, you're like, oh wait, she was in Hermione in in Deathly Hallows Part 2 like a year ago.
And not only that, to me, Belle is one of the most mature princesses too. Yeah. She almost, when I see Belle, I don't see a teenager. I see a 25-year-old. Yeah. I do. She just doesn't come across as, and I don't even know what her actual age is, but she's one of the more mature princesses out there. Just in who she is as maturity. She doesn't, I'm 16, Dad, I can do what I want, like Ariel would say, God bless her. But you know what I'm saying? She just comes across as an adult. And maybe that, I don't know.
Orlando Mo says, I agree with Walt. There was too many star power in the cast of this movie. Now I think Josh Gad was a great LeFou, but some of the other actors didn't fit the role. And then he could say Ewan McGregor didn't really fit for me as Lumiere. And what Dan was saying about Chip and Luke Evans as Gaston, he didn't really have the physique for it. Yeah, I totally agree. I think, I really liked LeFou in this film. I actually think I do prefer LeFou in the original animated more, but I think they added a bit more depth of character to his character in the live action. We got a little bit more about him, which I really enjoyed. So,
see, and for me, he's take him or leave him. To me, he wasn't important to either movie. He's just the guy that wants to be Gaston. He wants to be Gaston. He's his errand boy. He's his water boy, so to speak. He's the guy that, oh, Gaston, I want to be just like you one day. He's okay. I'm not a big fan of him in either role. Be honest.
My favorite is when it's like he goes to Gaston. It's like, when you come out, I'm going to tune up the pen. It's great. We're going to quickly talk about the parks before we give our final rating of both films. And then we will choose the next movie for next week. So very, very quickly about the parks. I mean, thank goodness to New Fantasyland, where we have kind of like our own mini section of Beauty and the Beast. I mean, talk about something really cool that they announced at D23 back in 2011. And I was just like, that's so cool. They're going to build Beast's castle and get to dine. Everyone, I remember this so clearly. Everyone lost their mind when they found out they could dine in the Be Our Guest restaurant. And yes, it took me 45 minutes to talk about food. I lost my mind too.
I lost my mind.
I was like, what?
I was like, are you kidding me?
We're gonna be able to eat the gray stuff? What?
It's delicious.
And then you can go and sit in Gaston's tavern in his chair with the antlers and all of his decorating and the thing. And you know what I love? That little courtyard looks so much like the movie, which I really, really love.
Look, it's one of the best effects in Walt Disney World is when you go into Maurice's cabin and they change the mirror to the door and you go through. That is such a great effect. I'm still to this day not sure how they do it, but it is really cool, man. When you get to go into that, that's like I'll go do Enchanted Tales with Belle just for that.
I've never done it.
What?
Oh, come on!
Fun. You have to do it.
You have to do it.
Yeah, you have to do it. Yeah, even without little ones, I do think it's catered to the little ones. Don't get me wrong. But I got to be honest with you, Dan. You have to do it. It is enjoyable.
We'll go. I will. You guys know me. You guys know me. I'll volunteer with everything. Let's
go. I mean, even if you stay in the back and you don't want to be part of the
you know me. I'll be front and center to do that.
Yeah, it's a must do. You got to do it. It's fun.
It's a lot of fun.
We'll definitely go and do that for sure. But I love the area. It's just such great Imagineering.
Oh, it's great.
And I think everyone here has eaten at Be Our Guest.
Mm-hmm.
Three times. Now, I'm not happy with the new prefix menu.
No.
I really liked the old menu before. It was a must-do with the old menu. But yes, we've eaten there 3 times for dinners and 1 time for breakfast. And Melissa and I must be the only ones that actually liked breakfast. I enjoyed breakfast.
Oh, I like lunch.
Okay, good. See, I haven't done lunch.
Go lunch. It is so good.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's so good, and it's like half the price.
Okay.
Lunch, half the price. It's a must. It's absolutely a must. And even you know what I love is like even from the inside when you go to Be Our Guest, there's rooms that you can sit in, and it's so well themed. Like you feel like you're in the movie.
In the gallery, or the West Wing. Oh, it's awesome.
The West Wing.
Oh, yeah.
Come on, with the ripped painting and
when the lightning goes off, it changes.
Yeah.
Rose. And not only that, Beast comes out and greets you at dinner time. He'll come out and wave, and then after dinner, you can get your picture taken with him. Come on, you can't be.
It's so good.
Let's go right now.
Let's do it. Let's do it. I always get is it the turkey sandwich? Is it something like that? That I can't remember what it is. It's so good. And I love the fact that you kind of have to walk through the hallways to get to where you're ordering with all the knights down the hallway.
And they talk or they
like move like
it's so funny.
Like in the movie.
It's great.
Like in the movie.
It's great.
And LeFou's brew over at Gaston's Tavern and the cinnamon roll.
Yeah, cinnamon roll's awesome.
Oh gosh.
It's huge. It's huge.
It is. Yeah.
Get extra icing. Extra icing.
Icing for sure.
And the best part is we didn't even touch on it, but then they have the Beauty and the Beast live over at Hollywood Studios.
Right.
I mean,
which is still going strong. It's always packed there.
Meet and greets with Belle at Epcot as well. They have Epcot. You have meet and greets with Belle. Every park, except for probably Animal Kingdom, has some sort of representation of this movie.
Yeah.
In some capacity. And I think it's great. It's just great.
It's so well loved. It's a well loved Disney film. Lunch was awesome. It's so good. I lost my mind in the car, so I left my husband at the table to wait for the food and took photos in all the rooms.
I get it.
We ate at Be Our Guest before it was changed to quick service restaurant. Quick service is where it's at for Be Our Guest. Trust me. I loved everything at Be Our Guest. French dip is good at lunch.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Simba. But I think you only eat like slugs, Simba. So I don't know, the French dip. I just wished. Sorry, Don. I'm gonna have to half.
Oh, you're fine.
Okay. I wish the forced perspective of Beast Castle was better. The castle should have been much larger because when you're walking towards Beast Castle, the castle looks far away, 1.5. Yeah, that's 1 out of 2. 2, but then you walk inside and all of a sudden you're in the castle. There is no transition. You know what? Yes, they could have made it bigger. Disney are masters of force perspective, but am I complaining that much? Not particularly. I just am so amazed by the theming, even on the bridge going up towards the restaurant. Come on.
It's all done well. It's all done really, really well. They did a really nice job. They did it so well that I actually want more.
Yeah.
You wish you had a little bit more. And I think that's a good thing. I think that's actually a compliment when people say, oh, man, I wish we had this, this, and this with it. Because then you're like, okay, so you want more. Yeah. It's not that it's incomplete. I think it's done really well. I agree.
Yeah.
So we're going to go into our rating for this evening. And then we'll choose the next film for next week, which will be on Walt's channel. So go subscribe so you can continue the review and Disney movie review conversation over there. So I'm going to start with Dana. Now, obviously, every guest we have is a true passionate fan of the movies. So I'm guessing your rating is very high. So what would be your ratings for the animated and the live action?
Okay, what are our scales?
We're doing grades. So A+ is the top.
Okay.
You go into A-, whatever, and down to F is the worst. But I'm pretty sure you're not going to an F.
Okay. Well, for the original animated, A+, just hands down. It's got the music, it's got the character development, it's got Belle, it's got everything. So for me, A+. And then for the live action, I would give that probably a C.
Nice. Yeah. Nice. That's a fair rating. I like that. Steve Michaels, welcome into the stream. Great to see you. Walt, what about you?
Definitely, pretty much the same too. Donna hit it right on the head again. She stole my thunder again. Way to go, Donna. Look, the original. The original is an A+ in my opinion. Everything about it, the cinematography, the animation, the casting, the music, the story itself. First off, you wouldn't even have a remake if the first one wasn't good.
True.
Yeah.
Because if the first one wasn't a classic and it wasn't wonderful and if it wasn't beloved, they wouldn't even have wasted their time to even do a remake. Mm-hmm. So that just goes to show you how good the original was. I agree with Donna. The remake to me is a C. There are too many things that I didn't like about it that I just thought they kind of stubbed their toe on for me to like it that much more. Now, if this was just a standalone and wasn't a remake, it probably would be a B, but it's a C because it is a remake. And we can't forget that.
Right.
Avery says A+, the only grade it deserves. Live action is a B-. Yeah, agreed. Yeah. VP says A for animated and a B- for the live action. Emily says an A+ and a B for the animation and then the live action. For me, I chose an A for Beauty and the Beast. A+ is for movies that make me sort of emotional, like really hits me in the feels. So A is pretty good for me, and I'm giving the live action a B because for me C is in my sort of grade scale. C is like average, like bang in the middle. But I think as a movie, I think it is still a very good movie, just nowhere near as good as the animation. So I went with A for the animation and then B for the live action.
Yeah, C and below for me. If it's C or below, it's something that is okay, but I'm probably not ever going to watch again. I'll just be honest.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
I probably won't watch that. I won't watch the remake again. I won't.
No. I haven't seen either. So wait, what?
He's kidding, right?
Sam, no. Donna, you are making sure Samantha watches Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah,
Beauty and the Beast was original, is my favorite. A for animation, C for live action. B+, Mulan is better in my world, but a great movie. And the live action is an A. Oh, nice, Caitlin. I love the fact people have sort of different opinions and different ratings. I think it's great. A+ and an A- for Michelle. A+ for animation and B for the live action. Nice. So it is time. By the way, I finished Game of Thrones today, so finished the whole season. Right, here we go. Come on, Tyrion, you're going to help me out for next week's show.
Get something really obscure.
I'll do my best. I will do my
the
best.
Spinners or something.
I am not kidding. I saw that on Disney Plus like before the stream. All right, I've got it. Get your tissue boxes because we're watching Bambi.
Oh man!
Oh,
we are watching Bambi this week.
All right, I haven't seen that in forever. I'll have to watch that one.
Yep. Get your tissue boxes.
That's a tearjerker.
Next week is Bambi. So if Bambi is one of your favorite movies, reach out to us and hopefully
we're the bad guys in that. We're the bad guys in that movie.
Oh goodness me! We are watching Bambi next week. This is going to be fun. I'm looking forward to it. I haven't seen it in such a long time.
It's been.
I've got my tissue box ready to go. A for original, B for live action. I liked Emma, says Stacy or Charlie, whoever's now in control of the Disney Nerd Herd's computer, but I love it. A+ for both. Nice. K-Out with A+. Love Bambi. Can't wait to know. I'm looking forward to it too. Pete Medev's dinner. Oh, you are cruel.
I think he means Bambi.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Haven't seen Bambi either. Oh, Sam.
Jeez, Sam.
Bambi. Right, so I hope you guys really enjoyed the review of Beauty and the Beast. I had such an amazing time rewatching these films this week. We had to do double duty because obviously there's two and the other spin-offs which I didn't get to, but live action Bambi is going to be called Bambo Venison Revenge. Oh my gosh. Jeez. Bambi is a classic. Yeah, so that's going to be next week. But this was so much fun. There was no better person to have as our special guest than my wonderful friend Dana Jaworski. Thank you so much for being here and taking part in this.
Dana, we miss seeing you.
We miss you.
Oh, I miss you guys too. I can't wait till I can see you guys again.
Amen.
But big hugs. Hugs.
Thanks to you guys too. I love you guys.
Yeah, but thank you. Virtual hugs.
Virtual hugs. There we go.
we're all friends. You see.
There you go.
I think we just identified the villain. It's
yeah, that's right. Good job. That's
oh goodness me. But Dana, thank you so much. You're always welcome anytime to come back and talk with us about films. So because you are the best. And please go subscribe to Dana's channel and Samantha's channel and go check out Samantha's TikTok. She's queen of TikTok.
She is.
And yeah, so thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me. It was so much fun.
And my co-host, Walt from Mouse Talk. So good to have you. Thank you so much for being here. And next week it's going to be on your channel.
Hopefully, unless something else comes up. It was supposed to be on my channel this week, and then I got sidetracked. But anyway, yes, thank you again. This is always fun, Dan. Dana, it's always a pleasure, dear. It's great seeing you. You brightened our day, as you always do. But no, it's good to see you on streams. Someone said it earlier. You make the streams better for sure.
Yes, Sam. Hi,
Sam. You got a lot of homework ahead of you, girl.
Yeah, Sam, you've got some homework to do.
You got some homework to do. There's some movies to watch.
Sam, you got Beauty and the Beast to watch, and Bambi.
Yeah.
So yeah, so good to see you guys. And Walt, you got some stuff coming up as well, some live streams and videos and stuff.
We do daily Disney discussions going on, of course. We're going to start back up tomorrow. We're going to be doing It's Tough to Be a Bug. That'll be great. Insanity on Tuesday nights will be fun. So we'll do that. And we just did Melissa and I went out today for Father's Day, and we ate at the Boathouse. So we did a review of that, and we'll be talking about that. And we actually filmed Melissa's first episode of her Expedition Eats.
Yay.
So we have to edit it and get it all together, but there's a lot coming with the channel, and a lot more live streams from the parks as we get better with the streaming from the parks and figure out my damn gimbal. Darn gimbal. I'm sorry. I couldn't help it.
Hi,
But
Walter.
no, I just appreciate y'all having me on as usual, Dan. It's always a pleasure, and Donna, you're the best, dear.
Oh, I think you're the best. You guys rock, both of you.
No, you're the best. This is gonna go, no, you're the best. No, you're the best. No, you're the best. As for me, this week I have a Disney pin video coming out this week where I show my entire collection.
Wow.
So I've got some more. I actually got some more pins coming in the post this week. So maybe I'll add that in as well. So they're gonna be fun. Disney Food Friday back this week. My members will be voting this week. So if you are a member and not in the Disney Dan membership Facebook group, send me a message and I'll get you guys in. I've got some good ideas for this week, and I'm gonna start sending out some awesome United Kingdom postcards. So yeah, that's gonna be fun. Yeah, look at that. Haha.
I got it, Dan. See there? Look,
that's my house.
Yeah, that's the house. Dan's room's right there.
Yeah, it's a great view. And then Disney Fiasco will return, episode 97 next Saturday. I'm very sorry about missing yesterday. Really was not very well at all, but it will be back next week, episode 97. Most shocking moments in Disney attractions, and we'll be joined. One of our special guests will be Rob from RobFuz partner channel, and maybe a few other special guests as well.
That's shocking.
Yeah, shocking. I know. Thank you again, all to my wonderful members. You guys are amazing. Thank you to my wonderful partner channels, Walt from Mouse Talk, RobFuz, Meg from Mickey's Magic, and Ed and Mindy from the Viapree Project. Go check those guys out and their channels as well. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So see you for Bambi next week on Walt's channel for more Disney movie review. You guys are amazing. Have a great week, everybody. Happy Father's Day. And we'll see you all soon.
Happy Father's Day, everybody. Bye-bye.